How did you manage to balance your time between those two tasks?
Yes, it was not easy, but I prepared myself strong because I heard a lot of people that went through this experience of selling, and I was prepared that it will be a busy period or a busy time where I will have to jump on a lot of calls and do a lot of things at the same time. But I think that, I'm good with prioritizing my tasks, and I kind of only focused on, the things that were matter. Anything that was really long term or long uh, planning was kind of put aside. So I didn't really feel like a crazy shift or change in my workload because I planned it well. So I was prepared that it's going to be hard. I pretty prepared for the worst, but it wasn't that worst. So it
Really?
was kind
Yeah.
of easy for me.
Wow. So that's not a common statement from people who sell their businesses. Normally say it was a really huge amount of work. I wasn't expecting it. It was a shock. Maybe because you'd listened to other people go through that difficult thing and you're naturally maybe an organized person.
Actually, I remember one thing that was tough. The last week of the due diligence, just before we signed off the contract and the final document of the sale, I was actually in Austria in a ski vacation with my brothers. And I remember like, okay, we have a meeting at that time. And I was like telling them I have to go in the lift down to the hotel to talk with the buyers. And actually, I didn't tell my brothers that it was with the buyers. I had a meeting. I told them I didn't want to say to like tell anyone that I'm selling. Only after everything is closed, I told people. And I went down to the hotel, like talking to them, like it was kind of, busy and weird, but I was able to manage it even on vacation. So it's all about planning. Like if you plan it right, if you just take things with planning it, it should be much easier.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. You're obviously a very structured guy because you were thinking from the very beginning about creating SOPs. So one thing that strikes me actually is that if you're going to have time to add to preparing to sell your business and have those conversations and send those documents, as well as running a business, if you're already working 80 hours a week to run your business, you're not going to be able to do the other stuff, right? So I guess you'd organize the business so that it wasn't driving you crazy just to run it day to day. So tell me a bit about your thoughts in the beginning. You already mentioned that you were going in thinking that you had to be ready to sell from day one, which is great thinking on paper. Very few people do that in practice. So why do you think you were able to do that and other people struggle with that?
I don't know about other people why they struggled with that, but I think that if you just do it step by step and plan it from the beginning, I knew that it will be much easier for me than do it all at the end. And at the end, by the way, it was also a lot of work. So I imagined to myself, what would happen if I didn't plan that? And when I
Yeah.
didn't plan that, it's just being organized. Like, let's say you get a freight forwarder invoice. Instead of just keeping it in your email, just download it and save it to Google Drive to an organized folder. It just take a minute. But imagine that you have to do it at the end and you do it for like hundreds of invoices. That's going to be a lot of work. So I looked at it from a perspective of working less or not having a lot of stress. So I just kept doing what I need to do at every single point, and I knew it's like organizing your house. If you wait for everything to be a mess, then it's much more stressful and take much more time than if you just finish the cup of coffee, just put it in the garbage or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's all about that mindset of just doing what you need to do now and not wait for later to postpone it and procrastinate kind of.